Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today I'm getting back on the RM 400. We're going to finish the lower end build and do a couple other little projects along the way. I've got some information on this one that I ran into. It was an issue for me, so I've kind of gone over it, and I think I know what Suzuki meant to do, but they didn't do. And I, for the life of me, cannot find a double lip, double spring seal for the right-hand side. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put a 9mm thick double lip seal in with single spring. I'm going to continue to see if I can find that. It's easy enough to change on this model, so I'm not worried about that. But if you've got one of the earlier models where you've got the internal seal, you're on your own. I don't know what to tell you on that because actually I think on the RM250 that I did, I just used the double lip single spring seal. And I had somebody ask me in the comments about, I think I was just kind of putting the seal down there and showing how it would go in, but I didn't want to put it in yet. And he asked me, he says, I think you might be trying to put the seal in backwards. And during this time frame, I'm talking 76 to around the 81 time frame, they went back and forth with seals. You have to actually look and see how they were installed. Don't go by how you found it, because other people were just as confused as I was. I think it was up to 78. The seals were on the inside of the bearing or next to the crankshaft. So otherwise you have to split the cases to change them. 79, they moved the seal to the outside or the clutch cover side of the bearing. Now you don't have to split the cases to change the seal. But they went back and forth with the open side towards the bearing or the closed side to the bearing, next to the bearing. So you just have to be careful about which model you got, and look every time and make sure that they didn't change it on you, because they did. Anyhow, I just want to bring that up. So just go to your IPB, check them out, see how they're showing it in the picture. That's all I can tell you. I really hate doing assembly by a picture, especially an illustrated parts breakdown picture, but that's really about all you have. And I also have gone back into the owner's manuals and the like the climber manuals, some of those other manuals, and looked, and you could actually see that how the seal was oriented before you took it out. So, you know, just do your due diligence on them. And you know, to tell you the truth, I don't think you can get it wrong. But that being said, when you could actually get a double lip, double spring seal, you really can't do it wrong, because it can go either way. On Yamaha's, their manuals say to install a seal with the numbers out, otherwise facing you. So that kind of takes away some of the guessing room there. Now I'm talking on the older models, the ones that I normally work on. You can't, I don't think you can use that information on late model stuff. But anyhow, during that time frame with the Suzukis, they moved them in and out, upside down, right side up, you name it, they did it. So just look and try to figure it out. I've run into another issue with the oil or the clutch push rods, and I want to cover that on this video. So let's get on over there. We'll take a look at it on the bench, and I'll kind of show you where everything goes on the engine. And it's another one of those things that I think they changed how the push rod was made a little bit, and when they did so, it couldn't be assembled quite the same way. So they moved things around a little bit, and that's okay, but you won't believe everything else that comes up. So let me get you over here and let's take a look at that. Thanks guys, I sure appreciate it. Don't forget the thumbs up. Okay, this is kind of what spurred the whole question, was the where this goes through the transmission shaft on the left side, where you've got the little butterfly lever that moves this. It wears them out right there. This one of these came out of the engine I'm building now. The other one came out of a spare engine. They're both worn the same. Let me get you up here a little closer. I think you can see that. So the one, this one here, the one that goes over on the clutch side, it doesn't wear. But the ones on the clutch lever side, or the mag side, these wear. And you can see there too, I just now noticed that this one is wore a little bit higher up right here. So I don't know what the deal is, maybe just more wear. But anyhow, I ordered new ones, and I want to point out, let's see here, which one's the best. Okay, if you look, and on this side you've got a dome, okay, and on this side it's flat. Okay, remember that. On the new ones, come on. Okay, it's a dome. And you flip it over. Same thing. Dome. And you can see this recess that they've cut around the edge. So, in the old practice, with the old push rods, if you didn't have a ball that went between them, you took a flat and a dome and put them together. But in this case, according to the this is the owner's manual, 79 I think this one is, and you look up here and they've got the ball between them. You've got a ball right there, and that's, I believe, how it came out. It all fell apart, so I'm not real sure. But with the new ones, you've got a dome and a dome no matter how you do it, and I don't know whether the ball would stay put. It's the shaft that it goes through is pretty big. I think it would kind of get sloppy and move around. So let me show you what they did. And these, I verified these numbers. These are the right numbers. And the thing is they only tell you one. You see here? You see two shafts, but only one number. And if you go to the parts list, it only shows one. This over here will show you how many per assembly, otherwise per bike, that you need. And this is only showing one. Well, you've got to have two. You know, these are all the same in lengthwise, but now what they've done on the parts breakdown is they no longer show the ball here. They move the ball up here. It's under the adjustment. So I think that's when they went to this new part number. Let me get that piece and I'll show you. Okay, this is what they're talking about. It's the plunger. And they took the ball and they put it right there. So you put one together. See, this is tight enough where the ball is not going to try to squish out to one side. So now you're running these shaft to shaft instead of shaft to ball to shaft. So that's how we're going now. And that's how they're showing it in here. But when you order this shaft, you actually physically have to order two of them, and there's none of them that are different. You know, this one actually shows L, left hand. This piece here is this piece. Okay, so I did some more looking around, and let me show you what I found. Okay, when I ran this through my interchange program, all these bikes use that part number of shaft. This one right here. Down here you'll see the RM 400, the T and the N, 79 and 80. And you also will see RM 250X, 81 model. I went to the 79 and 80, everything looked the same as the 400. So I looked up the 81 model. Okay, lo and behold, rod, that part number, and they show two per assembly. Okay, so Suzuki messed that up when they changed that on the new IPB for the older bike. So I think we're pretty sure that both of them go in there and the ball has moved to inside this piece. And I went on to look. It also says that it fits a street bike. It fits many street bikes actually. I just took this 2000 750 FY and I looked it up, and here, of course, they've got a long one because those cases are real wide, and this one here is the same that goes in the 400 that we're dealing with now. So if you look that one up, now you've got the left one, which is the same number that we're using in the 400, and you've got a right-hand one, which is a longer one. Now, I don't know how long that is. You know, possibly you could get that one and just do a one piece. I don't know. I'm not going to spend the 20 bucks to find out. I think that the two-piece is going to offer you less resistance because they're working together on that ball surface. But anyhow, that is what I ran into, and that's how I'm going to put it together. I'm going to put it together like this with the two rods back to back, and the ends are all the same now. But I am going to put the ball up here, and it goes into this piece. This screws into it. So that's the only thing. If anybody else knows anything that I didn't cover there, or if you think I'm not understanding it right, let me know. And like I say, here, this is the actual manual that came with it. It shows the ball in between. And that's the way that I've seen most of them. You know, this is, I think, because they changed the ends on these shafts. You can see they're both domed, and the other ends are just exactly the same. And on these, you had a dome on one end, and flat on the other. Now I could use these two right here, and if I have trouble, I will. I'll put these back in the way that they came out, but I want to make sure that it'll work right with the two new shafts and moving the ball to this piece right here. Let's go over there and take a look at it. Okay, here's where that's going to go in. The shafts, they just drop in there, and you'll just drop them on top of one another, just like that. And then you'll put some grease in here, put your ball in there, and then it will go over them like that. And then as you operate the clutch lever on the other side, that's what's going to happen. Okay, you can get this one out with a magnet here, and if you had a longer magnet you could probably get that one out, but what I do to remove it is just flip the case. Right there. Okay, you can see also that I've got the new seal installed, and it's all ready to go here. I just wanted to go ahead and get it in. I used the silicone on it like I always do around the edge. That helps hold them in. So let me get my stuff together here, and we'll start assembly of this. All right, let's take a look at this now. Next thing we need to put in here is our O-ring. So we'll just lubricate it a little bit and push it down the shaft. And also, we do need to get some oil on that seal. I'm just going to push this on down, and then we'll put oil best we can on the seal there. And you've got this is what the seal runs on, and it essentially can go in either direction. the O-ring's just going to fit in this recess. And we're going to go ahead and oil it up good also. And this has just got to be kind of worked. It's a pretty tight fit. There. And we've got our keyway, or key that goes in the keyway. And then our primary gear. Okay, it's going to go like this. There. And I've got a new washer. Got our little tang here that drops down into there. This is left hand, is it not? Yep, sure is. Okay, let me get ready to torque that down. Okay, I'm just going to use the conrod holder to hold that for me. And that torque is, let's see, 50 foot-pounds. So I've got a inch pounder here. Should catch it there. .600 inch-pounds. So now we've just got to bend over the washer. All right, that should do it. Okay, let's take a look at this. On your shifter, just make sure that everything is in line with one another right there. This one, this one, this one, this one. If you're like that, you should be able to shift all your gears. Okay, next thing we need to do is get our shim down there. And it's a 2mm shim. Okay, let's move on here. We've got our collar. And I'm going to use some assembly lube on that and on the bearing. Just a little oil down the inside of it. And our bearing. And put a little bit in the clutch basket. Okay, everything looks good. I've Loctited all the screws. Okay. And we've got another 2mm washer. And again, we'll give it some good lube for starting up there. And our hub. And we've got a new lock washer. And our bolt, or nut. Okay, on this one we're going to go to 480 inch-pounds. Okay. And I'll go ahead and bend over the tab on this one. Let's see, where's kind of the best place to get there? Kind of hard to get in there sometimes. Flip your plier around. All right, so it is. Okay, now our shafts, and I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the end and this area that it wears in. Drop the first one in, and we'll lube up the end of the next one and drop it in. And now it's time to work on our clutch pack, and at some point you want to make sure you check your spring length. Service limit is 38.5 on those, and I've already been through them. So we're about 39 something, so we're good on those. And the plates, I'm not going to measure them because they're in oil and real nasty right now. But I've already checked them, and they're within spec, and those are 2.6 millimeter is the service limit, and these were, all of them were real close to 3 millimeters. Okay, so first thing we need to do is get, we're going to go ahead and get a steel plate on. We should end up with fiber for the last one. So I've had these soaking for a while. So I'll go ahead and finish up the pack. Thanks guys, I sure appreciate it. Don't forget the thumbs up. All right, I'll take that back. You start with a fiber and you end with a fiber. And we put our clutch plate on, we first got to get our ball and our actuator in there. I'm going to get some grease to hold that ball in. Okay, so get some grease down in there. It's a lot more than I need. And we'll drop the ball in and see if we can push it down there. Okay, so it's down all the way. Okay. And again, some assembly lube. Our bearing. More assembly lube. And a washer. And then our plate. We'll drop our springs in and then start our screws. Starting everything by hand. You don't want to use your impact and strip them out starting them, so be careful. And once you get them started, you can go ahead and run them in with your impact. And then just snug those down. They don't have to be tight. Tight anyway. Just snug. Okay, now we need to adjust our clutch. So I've backed this off. And it says turn it back in until you meet resistance. So right there. And then back it off a quarter. Right there. Okay, it feels kind of right. Got to have a thin wrench to get down there like that. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, I had some eagle eye viewers the first part of this, and I forgot to grease my gasket that went between, and I did. I was messing around recutting those holes and just plumb forgot it. So I certainly hope it doesn't leak, but if it does, it will probably absorb some of the oil and eventually stop, or at least maybe you can go around and pop the screws one more time and everything will be okay. But I'm just hoping it's not going to leak on me. So I've got my grease on it this time on the side cover. That's the one that's the biggest importance to me because, you know, normally you're probably not going to take the center gasket apart again. And if you do, you're probably going to get a new one. no matter what. But it may keep it from tearing. And anyhow, this one over here is more apt to come off again. The grease does help with it keeping it from leaking, and when you set it in there, lets it kind of move around so that it adjusts itself on the way in. I'm going to get I had them here in the case. That one acted like it's going to fall out. I think I'll leave it and just do this one. Anyhow, I guess the bottom line is you should be consistent. Okay. So I think these screw holes look like they're in fair shape. So we'll go ahead, get a little oil on our kick shaft seal there. And I do have the other dowel pin is right here. It's stuck in the case. There we go. All down. Let me find some screws. Already got the Loctite on this one. Let me find an apex for that. Okay. I'll probably have to move that, but that I can do. Okay, we've got some work to do over here on this side. And we've just got to finish tightening up our sprocket here. And it's to 480 inch-pounds. I just put it in gear, use my rod holder. So all we need to do now is just turn our washer over, just like we did on the other one. Okay, so that's done. The next thing we need to do is, I don't have any spacers for my sprocket cover. And I just, of course they're not available. This one back here gets just a 6mm screw. And what I did was just kind of run that in and look underneath. It's got to be pulled up just a little bit. And these are 8mm. And we do have the case saver that goes on there also on the inside. So it looks like after looking at it and measuring it, I am looking at just about an inch with the case saver in there. So I'm going to turn out two of them. If they're a little long, I can turn them down. No biggie there. And another thing I need is the Delrin shaft saver here. Just a little piece of Delrin that fits over that before you put the shift lever on. So a couple little machining jobs, and then we'll just about button this one up, I think. Okay, I'm just going to run 3164, so that'll get us close to what the shaft is. So this piece here will be a pretty quick item. Okay, they're about 650 long. So let's just make a quick mark on that. 0.650. Right around in there. I'll go ahead and get I think my hole's long enough, so we'll go ahead and get the outside. You know, there's nothing that really is specific about any of this stuff. It's just making it fit. We'll go down to an OD of about 0.700. See how close I am there? Should be right on. Let me go a little bit further just so I can cut it off. That ought to do it. All right, let's cut her off. There's that piece. Now we'll start on our aluminum spacers. These 8mm bolts should fit right in the 5/16 hole. Should give it enough room to operate, I think. I'm going to go ahead and bore the hole long enough to make both spacers, and then we'll start work on the outside. Thanks guys, I sure appreciate it. Don't forget the thumbs up. I don't like that much stick out, but I think I'll be all right with this. Just take it slow. Okay, I think that's going to work. I think everything's about where it ought to be. And get down here. And there's our shaft protector. So I think I'll go ahead and give those, I don't know whether I'll give them a shot of paint or not. I think they kind of stand out just the way they are. Let me think about it. Okay, guys. All right, that's just about it on there. Need to figure out what we're going to do on the top end. So that'll be coming up next on this engine anyway. Okay guys, there you have it. The buildup of the lower end on the RM 400 1980 model. Pretty happy how everything turned out, except for the seal. I'm gonna get on a tangent, I think, and try to find that seal. I want to find one with double springs, and I have not even found anything close so far. So it may just not go anywhere, but I'm sure going to look. And sometimes you're better off getting hold of a bearing house or a place that sells seals and letting them measure them up and see what they can find. We don't have one here in town anymore, so I'm probably going to have to call someplace like Denver or something like that and see if I can utilize the professionals to try to find me one. Because what I'm looking for and finding online is it's just not doing it for me. And I've got the seal. What did I do with it? Yeah, this is the one that came out of it, and you can definitely see the spring on here, on the front, or the closed end, and the spring on the open end. So that's what I want to find. There's a number on it, but so far that number doesn't do anything for me. The only way I've been able to find anything is by measuring it, and it doesn't even have the measurement, you know, the sizes on it. So I'm not real sure how that's going to work out, but we're going to stay on it until we figure it out. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.